listening to KZSU 90.1 FM. I'm Jimmy Garcia out here in Madison, Wisconsin, home of the Badgers, here at the University of Wisconsin Fieldhouse for the Elite Eight Regional Final, where it is packed tight. It's sold out here in Wisconsin, and it is loud. The Badger fans already up on their feet, going crazy. Stanford and Wisconsin both got into this game a little bit differently. Yesterday, Wisconsin was taken to 5 sets with Ohio State as the Buckeyes were up 2-1 and 19-14 in the fourth, but were unable to close the deal, and the Badgers came back and won the fifth and find themselves in the regional final. For the Cardinal, they dropped the first set of yesterday's game against Florida State, a game in which the Seminoles really just did not have the same attacking skills as Stanford. But for the Cardinal, they really did struggle in the first, and they hit pretty poorly throughout the match. If Stanford wants to take this game here in Wisconsin, they're going to have to hit how they did at the end of the season. This team is on a bit of a tear. They've won 7 straight and 14 of 16. The bench players for both teams are being introduced. It is packed, as we've mentioned already. Wisconsin's being led by their upperclassmen in Kelly Bates, one of the juniors. She is listed as the libero, but is 5'11" and on the team listed as an outside hitter. She wears the libero jersey, which gives the Badgers a lot of options on offense as far as where they can go with the ball. For the Cardinal, they've got one of the best young liberos in the nation, and Morgan Hens. She's flying all around the court left and right. She's got her action in every play, and it'll be interesting to see how those two play tonight. Both of these teams are very similarly matched, both with each a star outside hitter. With that being said, we're going to go out to the national anthem. Thanks for listening. Here on KZSU, it is loud here in the Fieldhouse. The starters are getting set to be introduced here, and they're going to start off with the reserves for both teams. Stanford, being the lower seed, will be introduced first. Kelsey Humphreys, Tamia Lade, Ivana Vonyak being introduced, with Michaela Keefe and Peyton Shang at the moment. Michaela Keefe had started actually a few games this season in place of Haley Hodson, who was the National Freshman of the Year last season, but is out with a lower body injury. Courtney Bowen now getting introduced as well. Courtney Bowen picked up her first collegiate kill a couple weeks back in the game against Cal. The starters for the Cardinal being introduced now. Freshman setter Jenna Gray, who's taken over the role from Kelsey Humphreys, will be starting here tonight. Drastic difference in the team's two setters. Lauren Carlini, the setter for the Badgers, is an all-region setter and a senior. Throw it over to the Cardinal side in Jenna Gray, and you've got a young freshman. Catherine Plummer will be starting tonight. Out there as well is Holland McKenna, the sophomore. Inkia Janaku, the fifth-year senior who had a great game yesterday, going to be starting tonight. She finished the game with 17 kills and only 3 hitting errors after starting the game with 3 kills and 3 hitting errors. That means 14 straight errorless swings from the senior. Adriana Fitzmaurice, the top recruit in the nation, will be starting as well at 6'6". She's a lot to handle. She recorded 7 blocks in the game yesterday against the Seminoles. Loretta Lutz, the 6'8" redshirt junior, will be starting as well. The reserves for the Badgers getting introduced at the moment. The fans here in Wisconsin cheering their team on. Stanford will be in their road black uniforms with cardinal colored trim, while the Badgers are going to be in their home white uniforms with red numbering and lettering. It's sort of a new court here in the field house as the NCAA has brought in. It's a blue outline court with a light wood for the back row and a dark mahogany colored wood up front near the net. Stanford comes into the game 24-7 on the season, and as we mentioned, 14 of their last 16 they've won. Carlini introduced for the Badgers. The senior's done so much for this program. They love her here. It'll be Carlini Gillis with McDonald Williams, Haley Nelson, Molly Haggerty. And out there as well, Kelly Bates, the libero. Both of these teams very similarly ranked with the fact that they both have senior middle blockers that are just absolutely fabulous to watch. It'll be interesting to see how those two go back and forth here tonight, as Haley Nelson and Inkia Janaku are going to be going back and forth. After Stanford lost that first set yesterday, Inkia Janaku really flipped the switch and went to another level where we have not seen her at all this season. She just looked aggressive. She was hitting with lots of power, and she had that look in her eye that you could just tell she wanted to win this. Teams are going to shake hands at the net as we're just a couple minutes away from first serve here on KZSU. Once again, I'm Jimmy Garcia, out here for the regional final Elite 8 matchup. We know the first ticket to Ohio has just been punched as the Nebraska Cornhuskers sweep the Washington Huskies. That was the Big Ten champion going against the Pac-12 champion. The Huskies finished the season at 16-4 in conference play, while the Cardinals were 15-5 and took second. They were tied with UCLA. Stanford will be starting in front of us here at the announcer's booth. We're up top for this one, on the opposite side from the players' bench, behind the ladder referee. Stanford will start with an interesting lineup, which will be their coveted tall-small, in which they're going to have a Janaku, Lutz, and Plummer up front at 6'3", 6'8", and 6'6". They're a force to be reckoned with. And in the back row, Morgan Hentz, Jenna Gray, and Holland McKenna. Morgan Hentz had a fabulous game serving yesterday. She finished with 5 service aces. The Cardinal dominated the service line yesterday, and will have to do the same if they want to beat the Badgers here at home. Gray's going to go back from the near right corner as the fans here in the field house try to disrupt the serving of the young freshman. Head coach John Dunning clearing some stuff up with the referees before we get underway. This is the number 3 seed in the country in Wisconsin hosting the number 6 seed. Whistle blows and we're ready for action. Gray, the young setter, goes back. By far the biggest crowd they've played in front of. Bates, Carlini, they slide out, and picking up the first kill of the game, Tiana Williams, and the field house is electric. It was a soft slide to the outside, and Bates will go back to serve from the far right corner. Plummer, Gray, up the middle goes Ajanaku, dug out. Carlini's going to set on the outside for Gillis, and Hentz is unable to dig it out, and the Badgers are up 2-0. Stanford being such a young team, they've got to calm the nerves early on. This is an experienced Badger unit, as Bates is going to get another good one down here. Plummer can't dig it cleanly, service ace. And Wisconsin's up 3 early. The Badgers feed off of this sold-out crowd here in Madison. And Bates going to do it once again. Plummer with another bad dig. Gray goes a long way to set it. Comes near side for Lutz. He's just going to hit it over Bates. Carlini, slide from Nelson. McKenna digs it out. Gray's going to set on the outside for Plummer. And she gets the first kill of the game for the Cardinal. 3-1. Plummer's going to go back to serve from the near right corner. Off the block, the last play went. She's going to come near side now, so it's the near left corner the freshman's going to serve from. Takes a couple dribbles, sends a good one down here. Gillis struggles. Bates is going to set on the outside, back for Gillis. Roll shot is dug out by the Cardinal, goes out to Lutz on the outside. It's dug out. Carlini's going to set. From the back line goes Haggerty, and she gets the kill as the block goes out of bounds. 4-1 for the Badgers. Wisconsin dominated the first set against the Buckeyes yesterday, 25-15, but lost the next two. And we're down in the fourth before a nice big comeback. And back to serve Carlini. Hence with a bad dig. Gray goes a long way to set. It comes near side for Vonyak, and she's able to pick up the kill there. 4-2, still early. We played at 25. It's the best of 5. Got to win 3 sets. And in a game that's filled with momentum and runs, Stanford has struggled at times, but as Hentz goes back to serve, let's see if she can pick up that great serve that she had yesterday. Carlini from the back line goes Gillis. Hentz able to dig it out. Gray's going to set near side for Vonyak, and she's able to rip it down there. 4-3. In the first game of the tournament, when the Cardinal hosted Denver, Stanford's upperclassmen Ajanaku and Vonyak finished 1-2 in kills. Hentz with another good serve. Gillis struggles. Carlini sets, and 3-balling it over was Kirskova. Hentz, Gray, Fitzmaurice, hits it up the middle. Point to Wisconsin, and Adriana Fitzmaurice had an atrocious game yesterday. Finished with 6 kills, but had 6 errors. She did finish with 7 blocks, which was a huge area where the Cardinal were able to pull ahead from FSU. But the hitting errors caused the Cardinal to struggle. Gray sets on the outside for Lutz, who rips it down, and she's fired up on the outside. She's going to sub out of the game for Kelsey Humphreys, one of 2 seniors on the squad. Right now, it's Fitzmaurice, Gray, Vonyak, with Plummer, Hentz, and Humphreys on the back line. It's 5-4 here in the first. For Stanford, taking this crowd out of the game is a huge key. Humphreys sends a good one down here. Gillis, Carlini, Nelson up the middle, gets the kill for the Badgers. Haley Nelson, the middle blocker for the Badgers in her last year. An all-region player sends a good one down here. Plummer, Gray, outside to Vonyak, off the block. Carlini saves it. Play at the net is pushed over. Fitzmaurice, Gray, back for Vonyak, gets the kill off the block as Nelson couldn't dig off the black line. It's 6-5. Holland McKenna subs in the game now for the Cardinals. She'll go back to serve. The sophomore was the libero last year before the team brought in Morgan Hentz this season. McKenna from the near middle part of the court sends a good one down. Carlini's going to set up the middle, and getting the kill was Williams as they set a short play for her up the middle with a bit of an X play right there as she just cut across the middle and slammed it down. Back to serve number 7, Amanda McDonald, who had a great game Amber McDonald, who had a great game yesterday. Plummer, overpass. Carlini slams it down, and it goes to the Cardinal as Gray was there to block it back. And Stanford gets the point off of just a bad play from both teams. And Ajanaku comes back in. Inky did not play much in the first 2 rounds. We think head coach John Dunning was resting her for these big games here in Wisconsin. She's back in now. Fitzmaurice sends a good one down here. Carlini's going to send on the outside for Haggerty, and she rips it down on the outside. Molly Haggerty picks up her second kill of the game. So far, Stanford does not have any blocks. They're the leading blocking team in the nation in terms of blocks per sets. Haggerty sends a good one down here. McKenna, Gray, near side to Plummer, rips it down. 8-7, Wisconsin up 1. The big note so far through the first 15 is the Fieldhouse has not yet taken over. We noticed in yesterday's game when Wisconsin was down in the fourth to Ohio State, the crowd was just erupting for their team, and Stanford trying to take them out of it here. Gray sends a good one down here. Haggerty for Carlini on the outside to Gillis, and Gray unable to dig it. Point to the Badgers. Nine-7 teams exchanging points as Kelly Bates goes back to serve from the far right corner. Hence, Gray for Lutz, who slams it down on the near side. Vonyak's coming in the game for McKenna. 9-8, back and forth first set. Denise Corlett, the assistant coach for Stanford, up to give some plays to her teammates. Plummer goes back to serve near left corner. The freshman sends a good one down here. Haggerty struggles. Gillis is going to have to set. Haggerty just tips it over. Plummer for Gray. Up the middle goes Ajanaku. Gets the kill as she finds the line on the outside. We're tied up at 9 here at the Fieldhouse. It's a very small Stanford crowd. And for the most part, it's all Wisconsin red. Plummer sends another good one down here. Haggerty, Carlini for Gillis. Miss hits it. And Stanford's up by 1 now. Stanford hitting .429 so far. That was the Badgers' first hitting error as the Cardinal take their first lead of the game. Plummer back to serve near left corner. The crowd is crazy. Haggerty, Carlini, slide from Nelson, and she rips it down near side. We're tied up at 10. Coming in the game for Wisconsin, Romana Kriskova, an outside hitter. Carlini back to serve. Hence for Gray. The slide. Ajanaku dug out by Haggerty. Carlini sets for Gillis. Stanford gets the block, but it falls on their side. Badgers back up by 1. (11-10). Carlini back to serve, far left corner. Hence, Gray on the outside for Ajanaku, who rips it down, ties it back up at 11. The bench of the Cardinal are fired up right now as Fitzmaurice is up front with Lutz and Vonyak. Hence back to serve. Sends a good one down here. Haggerty, Carlini, up the middle goes Kriskova, dug out by Hens. Gray's going to push it near side for Vonyak. Miss hits it, and the point goes to Wisconsin. Stanford struggled hitting the ball yesterday, and we hope that that doesn't carry over into today's game. And back to serve, number 8, Dodd. From the far right corner, Plummer, Gray. Point to Wisconsin off of a net violation on Stanford. They're up by 2. It's 13-11. Far right corner, the serve comes in. Hence with a bad dig. Gray able to save it. Vonyak just pushes it over. Nelson, Carlini, Kriskova near side. Blocked down, but it goes out of bounds. Point to the Badgers, and they're up by 3. Stanford trying to get Ajanaku back in there quickly. And this is the same sort of thing that happened in yesterday's game as Wisconsin went on a tear from the service line. Plummer, Gray, Lutz rips it down. 2-point game, 14-12. Humphreys is going to sub in the game for Lutz. Head coach John Dunning up with his teammates talking to his young libero Morgan Hentz right now before he goes back to take a seat on the bench. Explaining what he sees wrong with her digging so far. Good serve from Humphreys. Carlini's going to set the middle for Nelson. Hens gets a hand on it. Vonyak able to save it. Gray has to push it over. Bates, Carlini, outside to Haggerty. Hens able to save it. Comes near side for Vonyak, who gets the kill. What a wild play, but the libero able to save it. It came all the way back for Vonyak on the near side, and she picked up the kill. 1-point game. The field house is getting loud. Humphreys, one of two seniors, wants to go out strong, sends a good one down here. Carlini on the outside for Haggerty, and digs another one. Gray's going to push near side for Vonyak, roll shot dug out. Carlini sets near side Kryshkova, and Humphreys unable to dig it. Back to a 2-point game, 15-13. Timeout taken on the court. It's a media timeout. We're going to take our first here on KZSU 90.1 FM. I'm Jimmy Garcia. Thanks for listening. This is the Elite 8 Regional Final, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Nikki Sullivan with KZSU Sports. Like what you're hearing and want to ask for more? Have a question about KZSU Sports or a suggestion for improvement? Let us know. You can send an email to sports@kzsu.stanford.edu or contact us via our Facebook page, KZSU Sports. You can also always give us a call at 650-723-9010. So send us an email, let us know via Facebook, or give us a call at 650-723-9010. We always love hearing from you. And now let's get back to the action and go Card!
Back here at the Fieldhouse, I'm Jimmy Garcia, KZSU 90.1 FM, as the Badgers try to advance the second Big Ten team on to the Final Four as Washington falls at Nebraska. The Cornhuskers got pushed to 5 sets yesterday against Penn State. The two last national champions played in the Sweet 16. It was a great game. And we're back to action. Nelson with a good serve. Plummer, Gray, outside for Vonyak, dug out. They set on the outside for Haggerty. Into the net it goes. Point to Stanford off of a hitting error, 15-14. Wisconsin already has two service aces. It's been easy to tell that there's been some nerves on the side of Stanford so far, but they seem to work it out nicely. McKenna back to serve. Bates digs it. Carlini getting a set for Williams up the middle, dug out. Gray sets near side for Plummer. Bates digs it out, overpass. Fitzmaurice. Gray dumps it. Bates digs it out. Carlini's going to set near side for Kryshkova. And Humphreys unable to dig it on the outside. Wisconsin gets the point there. Stanford unable to capitalize on a good opportunity as Gray went for the dump kill and it didn't fall. And it's 16-14 Badgers. Back to serve. McDonald. Service aces. The Cardinal can't handle it. They're up 3, and head coach John Dunning going to take a timeout. And the crowd's going to let the Stanford team hear it here as they're getting loud. We're going to keep it here for this break. So through the first 30-so-ish points, Stanford down 17-14. And 3 of those have come, those 3 big points, all service aces from Wisconsin, as Stanford's hitting .409. They're hitting the ball really well. They're just not getting as many good looks. So far, the Badgers just serving better. 3 service aces and no service errors. Both teams served well yesterday, and Wisconsin hit very poorly in the game against Ohio State. Right now, the Badgers are hitting .391 with 12 kills, only 3 hitting errors, while the Cardinal are hitting .409, 11 kills to 2 hitting errors. So Stanford's doing a nice job there. They do have 1 block. They're down by 3 as the set starts to progress into the latter half. Let's see if Stanford can cut into this 3-point lead as Wisconsin's going to try to push it with Amber McDonald back there serving. She is the one who went on the tear in the fourth set as the Badgers were down 19-14 to Ohio State before giving them the lead at 2019, in which Wisconsin went on from that 19-14 point, and they finished the set on an 11-3 run. Couple seconds until we're back as teams are back out on the court ready to go. 17-14, back to action. McDonald back to serve, far left corner. Gray on the outside for Fitzmaurice, gets the kill on the outside. And Ajanaku subs in the game for Hens as Fitzmaurice goes back to serve. Adriana's going to come to the near left corner. Takes a dribble, sends a good one down here. Carlini's going to set on the outside for Haggerty, and McKenna able to dig. Gray's going to set near side for Plummer, off the block. Wisconsin saves it. Carlini just tosses it for Haggerty, off the block. Bates able to recover. Carlini back for Haggerty, and she rips it down on the outside. The field house erupts as the Badgers go up 3. Back to serve, Molly Haggerty. Some who have thought she could be the freshman of the year. Plummer, Gray, the slide. Ajanaku gets the kill as Haggerty was unable to dig. It's a 2-point game as Lutz is going to sub in. Stanford back to the tall small. It's an electric atmosphere here in the field house. And Gray goes back to serve, near right corner. The freshman setter goes. Good one down here, Haggerty. Carlini, Williams, able to save it. Gray for Plummer, off the block. Hens gets a hand on it, saved by Gray. Plummer 3 balls it over. Carlini's gonna set. Short slide from Williams. And the points going to the Badgers off of a net violation on Stanford. And they're still gonna keep that 3-point lead at 19-16. Back and forth the two teams go. Both of these squads spread the ball around a lot on offense. Plummer with a bad dig. Service ace. That's the 3rd for the Badgers. And Plummer forces head coach John Dunning to take a timeout. We're going to take our second one here on KZSU. I'm Jimmy Garcia, the Elite 8 regional final here from Madison. We'll be right back. Thanks for listening.
For over 2 decades, our beloved Cardinal has dominated the collegiate athletics landscape. From Pac-12 conference matchups to bowl games and NCAA tournaments, KZSU's been right there with them like family. Stanford Athletics is a family you too can join and support. The Buck Cardinal Club was started in 1934 and it still continues to this day to support over 900 student athletes. By joining the Buck Cardinal Club, you can help them on and off the field and throughout the Stanford community. To find out more about the Buck Cardinal Club, go to buckcardinal.com. Your gift will help our athletes as we take on championships, bowl games, tournaments, and more. Thank you, and go Stanford!
Back here at the Fieldhouse, I'm Jimmy Garcia. Wisconsin is the number 3 seed in the tournament, and with 32 games played on the season, they're 28-4. And the RPI category, which takes in wins and losses and strength of schedule, Wisconsin sits at number 1 in RPI as they were 13-4 and played 17 top 25 teams this season. They're up by 4 here in the first. Bates with a good serve. McKenna, Gray, up the middle goes Ajanaku, dug out. Haggerty's going to set on the outside for Gillis. Hence able to lay out and dig it. Gray's going to set near side for Lutz. Haggerty unable to dig it. Back to a 3-point game, 2017. Holland McKenna subs out of the game for Ivana Vaniak as Plummer's going to go back to serve. One of Stanford's best blocking units out there, and boy, could they get and they need one right now. Catherine Plummer serving from the near left corner. Good serve, Gillis. Carlini back for Gillis. And she mishits it. Oh, they're going to give the point to the Badgers. Point Wisconsin. Weird play right there, as it looked like it may have gone outside. Carlini goes back to serve from the far left corner. Voniak. Gray. Slide. A Joniku roll shot. Gillis able to dig it. Carlini from the back line. Haggerty. Gray. Hentz is going to have to set it on the outside for Lutz. Rips it down. Carlini digs. Bates is going to set for Gillis on the outside. Off the block. She gets the kill. 22-17. Badgers up 5. It's going to be an uphill climb for Stanford in this first set. Stanford lost the first set yesterday's game as Carlini puts another good serve down here. Hentz, Gray, Voniak, dug out, Haggerty, Carlini, near side Krishkova. Hentz able to dig. Gray has to set it from out of bounds, and Plummer pushes it over. Haggerty for Carlini. Nelson up the middle gets the kill. 23-17. Stanford struggling to return the serve right now. They're hitting really well. They're just not quite blocking how they normally do. Carlini with a good serve. Voniak, Gray, far side for Lutz. Dug out by Carlini. Bates, Krishkova near side. Dug out Plummer. Gray sets for Lutz on the outside, and she's able to rip it down as Haggerty is unable to dig. 23-18. Fitzmaurice is going to come in the game for a Joniku, and Hentz is going to go back to serve. Morgan Hentz sends a good one down here. Haggerty, Carlini, the slide from Nelson, gets the kill on the outside as they're going to call a tip on Stanford, and it's set point here in the first. The field house ready to erupt as Stanford's going to have to face 6 set points here in the first. And back to serve, Dodd. Plummer for Gray. Outside to Lutz off the block. Carlini able to dig. Bates is going to set it near side for Krishkova. Plummer unable to dig, and that's the first set. As the Badgers are 2 sets away from a trip to the Final Four. There's a 3-minute intermission between the first and second set. We're going to take a break here on KZSU. We'll be back with first set analysis as well as the second set here on 90.1 FM. I'm Jimmy Garcia. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back.